Hello, my saviors of spiritual wisdom. This is your wise-ass guru. Now, don't get me wrong, I was content being your wise-ass astrologer, but this week, well, I looked at the sky this week. I looked at the sky on my phone. I didn't look at the actual sky. That would be scandalous and salacious. What kind of Scorpio do you think I am? So, as I was saying, I was sitting indoors and looking at the orgasm in the sky this week on my phone. A T-square configuration is what astrologers call it, but gurus call it an orgasm in the sky. And with the anchor of this T-square, Jupiter, still in Pisces, we are accepting our opportunities because, hey, no one else decided to take the opportunity. So these opportunities are falling at our feet like falling orgasms from the sky that we just accept. So we, me, yous, and y'all accept this opportunity and learn to be a wise communicator because Jupiter is ruling Mercury in Sagittarius still. So Mercury in Sagittarius has to be a wise-ass communicator as it itself is still ruling and still opposing Mars in Gemini, which means we are seeking to connect with things and we are observing these connections from a very large scale. But then we have to reach out, literally reach out with our hands and actually try to actively connect with 50 million things at one time, which can drive us insane. So all of this is going on. Plus, Mercury and Venus are coming up on the Galactic Center this week, which I will get into later. So we are trying our hardest to activate these messages with Mars retrograde in Gemini so they can connect where they are supposed to. And these messages are very spiritual and philosophical in nature. So I should just accept the role of guru this week. And that is what I was on about in a long-winded way. Mercury in Sagittarius can be very long-winded, and we have to look at the marathon from a bigger picture. When we do this, we will see junctures where the Mars and Gemini lungs can deftly slide into the picture so we can sneakily catch our breath without anyone noticing. So to be honest with you, I don't know how these leaders of these spiritual groups, religious groups, football clubs, and cults do it. I don't know how Lady Marmalade, Martha Stewart, and Snoop Dogg do it. I know the style in which they do it, but they have to pull sunshine out of their wise ass all the time to inspire people, and it can seem like a marathon, especially with all this Sagittarius energy right now. But in reality, the best way, and in particular, the best way to do it this week, is to allow the stars and the universe to lead the way forward, illuminate the way forward. But talking about that this week will have me sounding like a guru, so I just have to accept that and hope that I don't sound like a charlatan. Oh, right. In addition to Jupiter being in Pisces and making a 90-degree square to Mercury and Venus on one end, and close to a 90-degree square to Mars on the other end this week, Neptune, the planet of image and sometimes illusions, is also in Pisces and making that same 90-degree square to those aforementioned planets. And Neptune is going direct. So I want to accept the role of guru this week via Jupiter and accept that guru image too via Neptune, but not be a seductive and hypnotic charlatan. But I do like the UK band The Charlatans from the 90s, although I doubt there are any people who are watching me that know this band. And back to astrology. The tone was set last week, and that's fine and all, because this week is a very, very similar tone. So it gives us more time to ride with these cosmic lessons. This week, we are forced to get really, really, really philosophical about our journey and how much we really love ourselves on this journey, how much we want to absorb love so badly, but we know it is finding love that is the fun part. Jupiter in Pisces has to allow itself to let go to absorb things, kicking up its feet in the process, as I said last week. We have to see the big picture, but it's when we are able to let go that we can see the big picture. Are we here to be precipitated on in life? Or are we here to follow the rainbow in the sky and give messages of the colors we see moving forward together side by side in unison? That is what Mercury and Venus being side by side in Sagittarius is telling us. Ride the high arching rainbow in the sky, like you're riding a high-arching arrow shot by Cupid. Kick up your feet until it feels the rain and touches the rainbow. We have to accept our spiritual journey. Accept that ride at Universal Studios. No, really, but not the ride at the fake Neptunian image at the Universal Studios theme park in Los Angeles, California. The real Universal Studios, the real ride of the universe, with the real actual city of angels to guide us. No disrespect to LA. I have nothing but love for the people watching in SoCal. We have to accept that we want to be part of the guiding force of the universe moving forward and help project a positive light on it. But first we have to accept there is a force. This is where the Galactic Center comes in. The Galactic Center is a huge black hole at 27 degrees Sagittarius that drives the universe. Let me repeat this. It drives the universe, and it is by far the most powerful force in astrology. Look, I know people say that this is powerful and that is powerful about a lot of things in astrology, but most of these statements I do not agree with. I have my natal Mars in Sagittarius, and I know that going on rants about things won't endear me to anyone, but I also am passionate about the real deal, and the Galactic Center is the real deal. Maybe I'll write a book one day and talk about why that is, but basically it drives the universe. So the words of love and messages of beauty this week will drive the universe. It will be good for you if you allow it to be good for you. I know that might sound like a vague message in a fortune cookie, but this week it is true. Sometimes people wonder if someone loves them, truly loves them. In fact, they often wonder this. In fact, I think it's the reason many people tune into metaphysically themed YouTube videos. How will I know if he or she or they really loves me? Which was a Whitney Houston song before Bobby Brown entered into the picture and answered her prayers all those years ago. And sometimes people wonder if God or the universe loves them, which is a deeper question that you may start to ponder if you have too much time on your hands and too many natal planets in a certain sign. And sometimes you wonder if you really truly love yourself. Venus and Neptune are forming a 90-degree square in the sky this week, so yes, we can be hypnotic to people or hypnotic to ourselves even. But then we have to stop, turn, and face people, or face ourselves, or face our reputations, and show that we are more than just a hypnotizing magnetic vibe, that we are genuinely beautiful. A lot of people in this world feel persecuted. I always try to hear out people's experience with feeling that the world is against them, because these feelings can eat away at us if we don't let them out. But Jupiter in Pisces can save our spirituality amidst persecution, save us when we are down and out, and give us faith in life. And faith is where the sun in Sagittarius really shines. Having a spiritual experience, an experience where you've let yourself go and then found the universe or someone to catch you, that can be something we want to tell people about right now. We want to tell people the truth about that. With all the Sagittarius energy, it's the truth that we have found. Whether we have been saved by the universe or have received a windfall of money or newfound love just fell into our lap because we've accepted it and allowed it to happen, we want to let others know the good news. Accepting spirituality leads to wanting to understand spirituality and wanting to know more of the truth. But sometimes accepting spirituality doesn't always lead to wisdom and the truth. In fact, sometimes in our quest to preach about higher spiritual truths and seeking to know higher spiritual truths, we lose the roots of our spirituality and the spiritual experience that got us here. Some people are agnostic. They say that there's no way to truly know. Some people aren't agnostic. They have indeed accepted, and they are convinced that they know. But do they really know? As for me, I'll say this. It's much easier to be on the quest for the truth once I've accepted that there is something. So now that I know that there is something, it leads me to want to find out the truth. And while I found out some truths, I've also found out that there are a lot of false prophets and quacks out there. The moon entered Pisces last night on Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time in the U.S. And in the early hours of Thursday morning in the U.S., that really, really sensitive Pisces moon is going to be running in a bed of flowers. But just go with the flow, however scattered life may be. Have a pillow fight. Give people the middle finger with a smile, and just let your surroundings be a beautiful mess, even if you and your living space look like a Jackson Pollock painting. The moon goes into Aries shortly before midnight on Friday morning in the Eastern Time Zone in the United States, 11:40 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday night to be exact. With this particular Aries moon, we will want to update how we see things this weekend in order to give us a more direct sense of how things should look visually while on our long-ass trek through Sagittarius. At 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday night, Neptune goes direct in the sky, and then Venus will square it at exactly 90 degrees very shortly afterwards. So whatever confusion you may have been having about how certain things may appear in your life image-wise, if you are out and about this weekend, you'll now want to embrace that image and use your intuition to know when and how to make that image work for you. And then surprise everyone by being honest and genuine as people find out that your beauty is more than just that image. The moon goes into Taurus at 6:37 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday morning. While this might really calm things down, with Venus being in Sagittarius ruling this Taurus moon, we have to be careful we don't get stuck on one topic or one thing for too long. Although if something requires a lot of time and attention to enjoy, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday will be good for that. Be careful of binge eating though. So at the beginning of next week, I might be stuck listening to Beatles albums on repeat. But it will be a fun journey. John and Paul accepted that they needed Ringo on their journey to make it fun. And then they eventually tried to earn spiritual wisdom from some bloke in India that George here recommended. Though their in-house guru, George, turned out to have all the spiritual wisdom and love they really needed. Good old Georgie and his sweet, sweet Lord. So my sweet, sweet Lord and my sweet, sweet listeners, peace, love, stars, and listen to the Beatles. And now listen to the sweet, sweet sounds of my unpretentious inner guru guiding the piano.